Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Battleverse. Today we are going deep into one of the most dramatic, unexpected, and astonishing events in modern naval warfare. A moment that captured headlines across the world and showed once again why the United States Navy is considered the most powerful maritime force in history. After the ambush, when many thought the situation would leave American forces crippled or at least shaken, the U.S. Navy instead delivered a response so overwhelming, so calculated, and so powerful that it stunned adversaries, shocked observers, and reassured allies. This is not just a story of ships, aircraft, and weapons, but a story of resilience, technology, and the human determination behind the steel walls of those warships. What happened after the ambush serves as a reminder that the sea belongs to those who can master it, and in this regard, the U.S. Navy continues to stand unrivaled. When you first lay eyes on the exterior of these massive American vessels, it is hard not to feel a sense of awe. These are not just ships. They are floating fortresses designed to operate in some of the most hostile environments on Earth, and to face adversaries armed with the deadliest modern weapons. The sleek, angular shapes of the destroyers and cruisers reduce radar detection, giving them a stealthy advantage even though they carry enormous firepower. The aircraft carriers tower over the waves, their flight decks stretching longer than several football fields combined, wide enough to launch and recover dozens of aircraft at a time. Each of these carriers represents not only raw military power, but also a symbol of national strength. Every bolt, every radar dome, and every missile launcher on these ships is the product of decades of engineering and strategic thought. When the ambush came, missiles streaking through the skies and explosions rumbling across the waters, these exteriors proved their worth. Armor plating absorbed impacts, automated systems activated instantly, and defensive guns lit up the horizon, intercepting threats before they could reach vital areas of the ship. To the world watching, it looked like chaos. To the sailors on board, it was exactly what they had trained for. Stepping into the interior of a U.S. Navy ship is like stepping into a world very few people ever experience. From the outside, these vessels might appear as steel giants gliding across the ocean, but on the inside they are bustling cities at sea, complete with living spaces, control rooms, medical facilities, and even leisure areas. At the heart of it all lies the Combat Information Center, often called the brain of the ship. In this darkened room, glowing with the light of hundreds of screens and radar displays, officers and sailors track every blip in the skies and every movement in the seas around them. It is here that decisions are made in split seconds, decisions that can mean the difference between survival and destruction. During the ambush, these centers became hives of activity. Voices calmly relayed targeting data, commanders issued orders, and automated systems cross-checked missile trajectories with defense protocols. The interior is also home to secure communications hubs, where encrypted messages flow across the globe to ensure that the entire U.S. fleet operates as one unified force. Beyond combat systems, the interior also houses spaces that sustain life for weeks and even months at sea. Medical bays are staffed with doctors and nurses who can perform surgeries in the middle of the ocean. There are cafeterias serving thousands of meals every day, gyms to keep sailors fit during long deployments, and chapels for moments of reflection in times of crisis. Bunk rooms may seem small, but they are carefully designed for comfort and practicality, with sailors living in close, knit communities that foster camaraderie and resilience. Aircraft hangars inside the carrier are massive, housing rows of fighter jets, helicopters, and drones, all undergoing constant maintenance and preparation. Fuel lines, elevators, and workshops ensure that planes can be ready to launch at a moment's notice. This entire interior is a complex machine, one that can shift seamlessly from peaceful routine to all-out combat mode when the alarm sounds. That ability to transform instantly is what allowed the U.S. Navy to respond so effectively after the ambush. When we talk about performance, there is no question that the U.S. Navy sets the global standard. Nuclear-powered carriers can operate for decades without refueling, maintaining speeds of more than 30 knots despite weighing over 100,000 tons. Destroyers and cruisers escorting the carriers are capable of launching precision strikes with cruise missiles that can hit targets hundreds of miles away. Submarines silently prowl beneath the waves, able to remain undetected for months while carrying enough firepower to devastate an entire enemy fleet. The performance of the aircraft on board is equally staggering. F/A-18 Super Hornets can launch within minutes of an alert, soaring into the skies with missiles and bombs ready to counter enemy threats. The advanced F-35C stealth fighters add another layer of dominance, capable of slipping past enemy defenses to strike with precision. Supporting them are the E-2 Hawk, early warning aircraft, which provide eyes in the sky, detecting threats long before they get close. Helicopters patrol the waters for submarines, while unmanned drones extend surveillance across vast ocean expanses. During the ambush, this performance was put to the ultimate test, and what the world witnessed was not just survival, but dominance. Missiles were intercepted mid-flight, aircraft scrambled into action, and submarines positioned themselves strategically for counterattacks. Every piece of the Navy's performance came together like a perfectly rehearsed symphony of power. Safety features are not just an afterthought on these ships. They are central to their design. The U.S. Navy has built its fleet with multiple layers of protection to ensure that even in the worst scenarios, ships and crews can continue fighting. Every vessel is divided into watertight compartments, so even if one area is breached by a missile or torpedo, the damage can be contained and the ship can remain afloat. Fire suppression systems are automated, releasing special gases and water systems to extinguish flames instantly. Close-in weapon systems like the Phalanx Seus stand guard, firing thousands of rounds per minute to destroy incoming missiles or aircraft at close range. Long-range defense systems such as the Aegis Combat System track and neutralize multiple threats simultaneously, creating a protective shield over the entire strike group. For the crew, safety also means having full protective gear, emergency drills, and escape protocols that are practiced constantly. Even chemical, biological, or nuclear threats are countered with advanced filtration systems and sealed compartments that keep sailors safe. During the ambush, these safety features came alive in seconds, preventing what could have been devastating damage and proving that American ships are prepared for every possibility. What makes the U.S. Navy uniquely powerful are its selling points that no other force can match. The most significant is global reach. The U.S. Navy is not limited to one region. It operates in every ocean, capable of projecting power anywhere in the world within days. The carrier strike group itself is a symbol of this mobility, able to carry more firepower than the entire militaries of some nations. The use of nuclear propulsion means independence from supply chains, allowing ships to operate indefinitely without fuel resupply. Another unique aspect is integration with other branches of the U.S. military. The Navy works seamlessly with the Air Force, Marines, Army, and even Space Force, ensuring that operations are not just about ships at sea, but about a whole spectrum of joint power. Technology is another defining point. From stealth fighters to hypersonic missile defense systems, from AI-driven analysis to satellite-supported navigation, the Navy incorporates the latest innovations into every mission. But perhaps the most important unique selling point is the people. Sailors, pilots, and officers spend years in intense training, learning to function under pressure, to improvise when needed, and to never back down from a fight. After the ambush, it wasn't just machines that saved the day, it was the human spirit, discipline, and resolve that turned the tide. Of course, all of this comes at a price. The cost of maintaining such a force is immense. A single aircraft carrier can cost over $13 billion to build, with each fighter jet on board adding tens of millions more. Destroyers and submarines carry billion-dollar price tags, while the cost of training personnel and sustaining operations adds billions annually. In total, the U.S. Navy's budget stretches into the hundreds of billions every year. Critics often question whether such an expense is necessary, but history has shown that naval power is central to global stability. The cost of not having this power would be far greater, as it would leave open the possibility of adversaries controlling the seas, disrupting trade, and threatening allies. For the United States, this price is not just about defense. It is about maintaining peace through strength. After the ambush, when the world saw the Navy's swift and decisive response, the value of that investment became clear. It is a price paid not just in dollars, but in the assurance of security for millions of people worldwide. In conclusion, what happened after the ambush was more than just a military encounter. It was a demonstration of why the United States Navy remains unmatched. From the formidable exteriors of its ships to the complex and highly functional interiors, from the performance of its aircraft and submarines to the safety features that preserve lives, from its unique selling points of global reach and advanced technology to the staggering price that fuels it all, the Navy showed exactly why it continues to stun the world. The events of that day proved that the Navy is not only prepared to defend itself, but also to project overwhelming power in the face of danger. It is not just a fleet of steel and firepower. It is a living force of resilience, courage, and determination. The world may have been shocked by the ambush, but it was even more stunned by the response. And as long as these ships sail the oceans, carrying with them the pride of a nation and the strength of its people, the message will always be the same. The United States Navy is ready for anything, anywhere, at any time.